In today's video, I want to take you guys through 10 super underrated PlayStation 4 games that are coming in the month of May. I recently have talked about how May is a pretty quiet month in terms of big PlayStation 4 game releases. You do have some high-key titles like Rage 2, however, for the most part, you're really working with a lot of games that are going very under the radar, but that's what I want to mention in today's video, specifically 10 underrated PlayStation 4 games that are coming in the month of May. Now, these are games that maybe you don't want to pick up on day one, but you should keep them on your radar, maybe add them to your wishlist and pick them up down the line during a sale, or whatever the case may be. However, I find all of these games to be rather compelling, so let's get right into it. So kicking things off, I do want to mention a game that I've talked a little bit about, and that is A Plague Tale: Innocence. This is actually coming out on the same day as Rage 2, May 14th, so I feel like this is gonna be a little bit of a hidden gem. However, A Plague Tale: Innocence is looking to be a very compelling story-driven adventure. It follows the grim tale of young Amika and her little brother Hugo in a journey through the darkest hours of history. Hunted by Inquisition soldiers and surrounded by unstoppable swarms of rats, Amika and Hugo will come to know and trust each other. As they struggle to survive against overwhelming odds, they will fight to find purpose in a brutal, unforgiving world. The game is set in 1349. The plague ravages the kingdom of France, and it looks to be a very dark, bleak, and emotional journey. A Plague Tale: Innocence will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on May 14th, and again, for those of you that like your dark, story-driven adventures, this is going to be one to definitely check out. Next up, I do want to give a mention to Sniper Elite V2 Remastered. Now, Sniper Elite is a franchise that hasn't resonated at an extreme level, and this is one of those game series that I thought would have been more popular than it is. However, Sniper Elite has kind of been a little bit more of a niche franchise, but it's still pretty good and it definitely has a fan base. And now we have Sniper Elite V2 making the transition to the PlayStation 4. This was of course released years ago on the PlayStation 3, and many would say that Sniper Elite V2 is the best game in the entire series. With this version, you'll have all new graphics and rendering technology that gives you improved ball busting, X-ray kill camera detail. Witness the terrifying power of your bullet as it enters an enemy's body. Also, just like with any other remastered version, all of the DLC missions are included. Take the fate of the war into your own hands and hunt the Fuhrer himself. The game also introduces a photo mode with this version. Pause and step through the action frame by frame, position the camera, apply a filter, adjust the lighting, and take stunning photos to share with the community, including your epic X-ray kill camera shots. You've got remastered visuals, new playable characters for the first time, play the campaign and multiplayer modes as one of the 7 new characters from Rebellion Zombie Army series, and then you have the multiplayer and co-op in here as well. You'll be able to gather your squad and compete in 7 uniquely tense multiplayer modes, now for up to 16 players online, including Deathmatch, Distance King, Dog Tag Harvest, and Capture the Flag. Sniper Elite V2 Remastered will be coming to the PlayStation 4 on May 14th. Next up, we have a former PC exclusive making the transition to the PlayStation 4, and that is VA11 Hall A. You can also call the game Valhalla, and again, as I mentioned, the game has already been released on PC, and it's been received incredibly well over there. The game has you learn about the daily life in the cyberpunk dystopia of Glitch City, a branching storyline where your decisions do not depend on traditional choices but through the drinks you prepare. The visuals of the game are very old school and inspired by old Japanese adventure games for the PC-98 with a modern touch for an otherworldly experience. Get to know your clients, their tastes, and prepare the drink that will change their lives. Again, the game's already been released on PC. The Metacritic score is a little bit tame at a 77, however, the Steam reviews are overwhelmingly positive, with 96% of the reception being positive. And that's pretty remarkable and a stat I thought I should know. Valhalla will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on May 2nd. Next up is a game that's really going under the radar. I haven't heard anyone talk about this one, and that is Epitasis. It's coming to the PlayStation 4 on May 1st. In Epitasis, having discovered an ancient portal, you take a leap of faith and suddenly find yourself amidst the remnants of an ancient alien civilization. Cryptic puzzles, forgotten technologies, and treasured relics are riddled among the beautiful wilderness that has engulfed the remains of a fallen race. If you are to learn their secrets, you must unearth the faith of the civilization that called these lost worlds home. It's a sci-fi exploration puzzle game set on far-off, distant worlds. You explore at your own pace, traverse the colorful, non-linear world in any way you choose, day or night. You'll learn to use alien machinery, provide power via lasers, disable security systems, and more. Every area beautifully handcrafted, from large mountain-swept vistas to the smallest of details. The game also touts a beautiful and dynamic soundtrack that evolves as you progress through the game. Gives me some vibes of a game like The Witness, but it looks to be its own remarkable experience. It's hitting the PlayStation 4 on May 1st. Next up, we have a game that I've talked quite a bit about, and that is Slay the Spire. That is making the transition from PC to PlayStation 4 on May 21st. Slay the Spire is such an interesting and compelling game. It combines a roguelike experience with a card game, and if you told me that without actually having played Slay the Spire, I would think, how do those mix at all? However, Slay the Spire did a great job of combining those two elements, and what it does is makes the card game experience so much more rewarding and different than all of the other card games that you see. And if you want to see it as a roguelike, well, it's very different than all of the other roguelikes you see. It adds another layer of strategy as you're actually building your deck as you play the game, so there's a lot of strategic choices you have to make. At a surface level, you'll just think, hey, let me get all the good cards that I can get, but you don't want to bog down your deck with lesser quality cards, so picking and choosing what cards are going to synthesize the best, that's how you really get ahead in Slay the Spire, and that adds another layer to the strategy and makes it such an engaging experience. It's also an ever-changing experience. Whenever you embark on a journey up the Spire, the layout differs each time. Choose a risky or safe path, face different enemies, choose different cards, discover different relics, and even fight different bosses. So you can see that there's a lot of replayability to the game, and there's always reason to go back and play it multiple times and go through it multiple times. It was released on PC for $25 after being in early access for quite a while, and maybe you're looking at the game and thinking it's not going to be worth $25. Let me tell you, I know so many people that have sunk over 100 hours into this game easily, and that sounds like $25 well spent. Also, with the game, you're getting over 250 fully implemented cards, over 150 different items, over 50 unique combat encounters, 50 mysterious events that can help or harm you, and they've been keeping this game updated pretty regularly. Slay the Spire will be making the transition to the PlayStation 4 on May 21st. Next up, I do want to give a mention to a PlayStation VR title. This one has really captured my interest, and that is Blood and Truth, coming May 28th. Blood and Truth has you star in your own explosive action movie blockbuster with a PlayStation VR exclusive shooter. Battle through the crime-ridden London underworld as elite soldier Ryan Marks in your deadliest mission yet, to save your family from a ruthless criminal empire. Take out your targets with breathless, over-the-top epic gunplay as you drive, parachute, and rappel across the city amid exciting set pieces. It looks to be a pretty big budget game, and I think this is a game that can really accentuate PlayStation VR, and I've been one of those people really driving the point home. PlayStation VR is really building a captivating library of games across all genres. When you look at games like Blood and Truth, games that are already out right now like Astrobot Rescue Mission, Farpoint, Resident Evil 7, there's just a lot of reason to pick up PlayStation VR, and now that we know that PSVR will be compatible with the PlayStation 5, hey, it's not a bad time to check it out, especially with Blood and Truth coming May 28th. Next up, we have Layers of Fear 2 coming May 28th. The cameras are all focused on you, the center of the scene, not just in character, you are the character. The part to play is singularly yours, written just for you. You are met with silence, no barking orders from the director, no call to action that you need to become this version of yourself. The demand to act fills your mind, but the script pages hold no words. Darkness surrounds you as you stand silently in the spotlight. The only sounds to be heard over your heartbeat are the distant breaking of waves against the hull and sound of cameras pointed in your direction, preserving the moment for eternity. Layers of Fear is one of the more known horror games in the market, and now we have the sequel coming up with Layers of Fear 2. If you're into horror games, it's definitely going to be one to check out, and Layers of Fear 2 will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on May 28th. Next up, we have another game that I think a lot of you guys will be interested in, and that is American Fugitive, coming May 21st. American Fugitive is said to be a modern take on classic sandbox action, offering a new 3D top-down open-world single-player experience. Developed by Fallen Tree Games, the two studio founders have extended AAA backgrounds, including titles such as Time Splitters, Crisis Black, and GoldenEye 007 Reloaded. The game welcomes you to Red Rock County, a sleepy American town with a booming criminal underbelly. You take the role of Will Riley, no angel for sure, but not a killer, yet the cold-blooded murder of your dad is the crime they locked you up for. Fueled by grief and a burning desire for vengeance, you'll bust out of jail intent on finding the real culprit. Once outside, you'll need to blend in with the townsfolk to avoid recapture, establish contact with the criminal underworld, and stay one step ahead of the police. American Fugitive's got a great presentation style, and I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Again, it'll be hitting the PS4 on May 21st. Next up, another game that follows a somewhat similar style is Shakedown Hawaii. That'll be dropping May 7th, and Shakedown Hawaii combines open world action and empire building a legitimate corporation by completing open world missions, acquiring businesses, sabotaging competitors, rezoning land, and shaking down shops for protection money. Shakedown Hawaii parodies big businesses and the most absurd business practices that go alongside. You're the CEO, and questionable subsidiaries, misleading ads, fine print, hidden service fees, and marketing spin are the tools of your trade. Super interesting game, and Shakedown Hawaii will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on May 7th. And lastly, we've got the sci-fi thriller In Observation coming May 21st. Observation is a sci-fi thriller uncovering what happened to Dr. Emma Fisher and the crew of her mission through the lens of the station's artificial intelligence Sam. Players assume the role of Sam by operating the station's control system, camera, and tools to assist Emma in discovering what is happening to the station, the vanished crew, and Sam himself. Game's a sci-fi mystery adventure title, gives me a lot of vibes from a game like Tacoma, and I really dug that game, and I thought Observation would be one to mention as well. Given that this is another title that's going a little bit under the radar, I imagine that a lot of people won't be picking it up day one because it does have a little bit of a hefty price, however, one to add to your wish list, and I do imagine it's gonna go on sale relatively soon, probably by the end of the year, and at that point it might be a game worth checking out. Again, Observation will be dropping May 21st if you do want to check it out right away. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, May is a pretty quiet month in terms of big budget PlayStation 4 game releases, however, it is highlighted by some games that are really going under the radar. I think A Plague Tale: Innocence could end up surprising a lot of people. VA11 Hall A is gonna be a great game. We already know that based on the PC version, and Epitasis is another game that has really garnered my interest, and there's a couple of other exciting titles that I think a lot of you guys don't know about, but let us know in the comment section down below. Do you have plans on checking out any of these games? And sound off with all of your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.